Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, March 7th, 2016. The roll will show that all members are present. Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2, minutes, 3, petitioner, 4, chairperson's report, 5, mayor's report, 6A, clerk's report, 6B, treasurer's report, 7, public comment, 8, unfinished business, 9, new business, 10, communication, and number 11, adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut? Yes. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski? Yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, agenda approved.
Number 2, the minutes. Under 2A, requesting,
In 2016.
Support.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held February 22nd, 2016. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, minutes approved.
for approval are the minutes from the special meetings held on Monday, February 22nd, 2016. At 6:30, there was a study session. This was the revisions to the Animals and Sidewalks Code and zoning ordinances. And at 7:00 p.m. was a public hearing regarding the proposed program statement for the fiscal year 2016-17 CDBG program.
So moved. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Mikowski, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the approval of the minutes from the special meeting held Monday, February 22nd at 6:30. There was a study session, revisions to the Animal and Sidewalks Code and zoning ordinance, and at 7 p.m., public hearing, proposed program statement for fiscal year 2016-17 CDBG program. Ms. Mikowski,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, special meeting approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, the chair is going to recognize Ms. Mikowski.
Thank you, Chairman Burden. Last week, we heard from a citizen who talked about the millage rates and the level of service, and I started thinking about that and remembered that we'd seen some documentation before, and I would like to have this posted at the website, our city website. And what that would be, it would show the millage rates for the surrounding communities, of which we were the lowest. It went up to, I think, 50 mills or 48 mills or something in one of the communities. So I'd like to request through the chair that the mayor have his, that.
Yes, Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a document. I don't have it here with me, but there is a listing of the 43 communities in Wayne County, what their operating millages are and so forth, and we'd be happy to make sure you get a copy, and we can put that on the website. Not
Okay.
a problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mikowski. Ms. Braggs, you had a...
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. I'd like to ask council if you would adopt a resolution congratulating Mount Olive Baptist Church. They're celebrating their 75th year church anniversary, and they kicked off last Saturday with a nice banquet, so they're going to be celebrating all month. And so there are a lot of members that are involved in our community, and just thought it would be nice, so if council wouldn't mind adopting a resolution to congratulate them.
Mr. Chairman.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut, for the 75th anniversary for Mount Olive. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. That concludes the chairperson's report tonight.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, council, treasurer, clerk, and audience. Tonight, start off with a quote. This is a quote from Abe Lincoln. It goes as this. Be sure to put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. I thought that was appropriate because tomorrow is the primary, and it's a great opportunity in this country people have to stand firm in their beliefs and actually go to the polls and have a say. So best system in the world, it's not without flaws, but the primary is alive and well and also important. So please get out and vote is my message on that. I know, Dennis, do we have a video clip? Why don't we go ahead and run that, then I'll get into a couple of my action items under my report, please. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Here's what's coming up around Romulus. Saturday, March 12th is the Mayor's Ball fundraiser benefiting the Romulus and Belleville Donahue Boys and Girls Clubs. Sunday, March 13th, St. John's Lodge is hosting a bowling fundraiser for their Summer Youth Day picnic. Saturday, March 19th is the city's annual Easter egg hunt and brunch with the bunny. And that evening will also be our St. Patrick's Day themed fundraiser for employee Bill Gibson. Remember to stay tuned in following this meeting for our complete news show, or visit our website for more information on any of the events and programs we mentioned today. Thanks, and have a great week, everybody.
Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, Jazz. Now for the normal business part of the report under 5A. What you have is a request to award RFP 15/16-10. That's a one-year contract for private ambulance services for City of Romulus. The most responsive and responsible bidder was HealthLink Medical Transportation.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for the private ambulance service for 1 year.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to award RFP 15/16-10 for a one-year contract for private ambulance service for the City of Romulus to the most responsive and responsible bidder, HealthLink Medical Transportation. Discussion.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms.
Yes.
Abdo.
I was wondering if there is a mechanism in place for a resident to file a complaint, because I've heard a complaint against it. Do we have any mechanism that a resident can get, recourse of their billing or the way they were treated or poor service? Do
Deputy
we
Chief.
have that?
Can you
Evening,
address that?
Council, Mayor, Madam Clerk, Madam Secretary. The answer is yes, there is a mechanism. The call would come directly to the fire department. I will intake that complaint and then process it appropriately with the authority through the private ambulance company.
Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crowe.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Makowski.
It's very close between the two, with the scoring, between Blank and Rapid Response. And I could see where the years of experience outweighed the Rapid Response. But I was just curious, did all offer the renewal option?
You mean the extension?
Yes, the
Afterwards?
extension.
Yes, they did.
Can you help me understand where the 1-point difference? Sorry, commitment to resource dedication, the difference between HealthLink and Rapid Response?
I'm sorry, what did you want to know as far as that?
Yeah, commitment to resource dedication. Rapid Response scored quite a bit higher, and I know we're looking at the grand total of all the criteria, but I just wondered about the resource dedication.
So the resource dedication is the ambulance that's dedicated to the 911 contract in the city. And through references that were contact with Rapid Response, we had a very positive feedback with that. One of the things that we asked of everyone in the bid specifications was to provide us metric data through their dispatching systems showing that that actually occurred. While the references were there and we gave them credit for that, we didn't get the actual data as far as that went, where we did with some of the other ones. The other thing that was also looked at was the difference in dispatching and how they dispatch and the technology that they use during the dispatching.
Very much.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
If I
Wadsworth.
can, to the Assistant Chief, we're still putting them over here, right? They're still being housed up here, or has that changed?
When you say up here, do you mean in front of City Hall?
Right.
No, that has changed. They're at,
Because I haven't seen nothing there recently. Where are they being housed now and how?
so we moved our ambulance partner to Fire Station 3
Okay.
at Wayne and Ecorse,
Okay.
the old Fire Station 3, and that allows us to work in tandem with them, covering both areas of the city
Okay,
for
so
any
this
medical
building
response.
isn't being occupied.
Correct.
We're actually storing some equipment right now, and we might have potential use for it shortly.
Very good, okay. And again, this contract doesn't cost the taxpayers anything, correct?
Correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Chief. Appreciate
Thank you, Mr. Crowe.
it. Thank you for that, Council. Appreciate it. Next up is 5B, and what you have is a
Oh, we have
request.
to do a
Oh,
roll
I'm sorry,
call.
I moved.
Yeah. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. McCowski?
Yes.
Mr. Crowe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Next up is another request through Fire Department, and this is to authorize permission for Fire Department to waive the bidding process in order to comply with the recent AAA grant award. Bills were attached.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to authorize permission for the fire department to waive the bidding process in order to comply with a recent AAA grant award.
I'll support with discussion, please.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski. Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski. And this is to authorize permission for the fire department to waive the bidding process in order to comply with a recent AAA grant award. Under discussion, Deputy Chief Cross, could you come to the podium, just explain, I like it on grants, when I hear grants, I get excited.
Good things.
This is about the bidding process, that recent AAA grant award. Could you tell a little bit about that?
So we applied through a highway safety grant award through AAA, Automobile Insurance Association. And the equipment that we put in the grant or requested in the grant was a set of lifting airbags and a set of rescue jacks. We had an older set of airbags, which were not able to be certified last year when we did the testing on them. And we've never had the rescue jack system as far as vehicle stabilization goes in the past. The total grant request was for $15,000. In that grant request, you have to be very specific about what you are writing for. You have to provide quotes for that specific item, and then upon the award, that's what you have to purchase. We were awarded that $15,000. It's an upfront cash grant, so we've already received the monies for those. It's been deposited into a revenue account, and one of the later items is actually the budget amendment to move it into a expenditure account.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Crowe. Ms. Makowski?
Thank you. So I just want to talk about the process as a whole, because generally I don't like to waive the quoting process. So when we do grant writing, that is a gift of money for us. When we do this grant writing, we do check alternate, I see some of this as sole source.
Correct.
As a whole, then do the quoting, the alternative quotes before we write the grant?
Correct. We look at the most cost-effective to purchase, and then not only to purchase, but also maintain for future maintenance and those costs as well. And that's how we make the determination when we decide what we're going to apply for in the grant itself.
Last question about the two that we've selected. So again, sole source, they're the only source for this equipment, but have we worked with them in the past?
We have.
So we
Yes,
know
have.
that they're competitive.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Makowski. Thank you, Mr. Crowe.
Any other questions?
Any other
Thank you,
questions?
Kevin.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Crowe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Next up is a request to award bid ITB 15/16-17. That's for the purchase of gravel, sand, and limestone on an as-needed basis for 3 years to Osborne Industries Incorporated.
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion to award ITB 15/16-17 for the purchase of gravel, sand, and limestone on an as-needed basis for 3 years to Osborne Industries.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut, to award ITB 15/16-17 for the purchase of gravel and sand and limestone on an as-needed basis for 3 years to Osborne Industries Incorporated. Ms. Abdo? Yes. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is the request that Deputy Chief Kraus referred to earlier, and this is to recognize the revenue received from the local traffic safety grant for the AAA to be used for fire department extrication equipment.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Choate?
I'd like to make that motion that we introduce a budget amendment recognizing the revenue received from the local traffic safety grant in the amount of $15,000 from AAA to be used for the purchase of the extraction
Support.
equipment.
The motion by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to recognize revenue received from a local traffic safety grant from the AAA to use for the department extrication equipment. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is a request to move fire department revenues received from the insurance reimbursement and sale of unused fire equipment to the motor vehicle capital outlay account to supplement fire fleet upgrades that we're going to be doing.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to move the fire department revenues received from insurance reimbursement and sale of the unused fire equipment to the motor vehicle capital outlay account to supplement fire fleet upgrades. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. Under 6A1, for second reading and final adoption is Ordinance Amendment Chapter 6, Animals, and this is to clarify the intent of the existing sections pertaining to animals. This ordinance was introduced at the council meeting of February 22nd, 2016.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, for second reading and final adoption of Ordinance Amendment Chapter 6, Animals, to clarify the intent of the existing section pertaining to animals, which was introduced at the council meeting of February 22nd. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2, for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1516-13, Tax Increment Finance Authority. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of February 22nd, 2016.
So moved.
Supported.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-13, Tax Increments Financial Authority, which was introduced at the council meeting of February 22nd. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Before I close, it has already been announced by our mayor about tomorrow's election, big day, the presidential primary election. So I just want to share a couple of things about tomorrow's election. First, just want to let everyone know that schools are in session. So those precincts that are located in our school buildings, there will be students in the buildings, and so what we've done to alleviate the disturbance to the classes and also for the safety of our students, that we've made arrangements for the entrances to those school buildings in the rear. So you'll be entering through in the rear of the buildings, particularly Hill Creek, Barth, Romulus Elementary, and also the middle school. So you will, particularly at the middle school precincts 1, 7, and 10, you will enter through the back, I guess that would be the west doors there, and we have a lot of signs that'll be posted for everyone. And then we actually have some students that'll be helping us guide voters into their correct precincts. Also, we want voters to be prepared when you enter the precincts. Also, be prepared to present your photo ID. And also, when completing your application to vote, you're going to be asked to select a ballot type. For this election, a presidential primary here in Michigan, it is a closed primary election, and so the Michigan election law requires that the voters make a selection of their ballot type. So there will be a Republican ballot, a Democratic ballot, and also a no party declaration ballot. The no party declaration ballot is our local election, which there's a proposal. So that ballot is set as, the law requires that there is a ballot made available to those voters who do not wish to participate or vote in the primary election. So, when you start, don't wave your finger at the election worker. They're doing their job when they're asking you to present, to make a selection of your ballot type. So we're excited about tomorrow's election. It's going to be a busy day, and the weather report says it's going to be great weather tomorrow. So we look forward to seeing everyone at the polls. We've left some sample ballots in the back for those that haven't seen the ballot. And also, if you have some questions about a presidential primary, and again, why do you have to make the ballot selection, and those frequently asked questions, we have some handouts in the back. And also, please visit our website. We've made that information available on our city's website regarding tomorrow's election. And again, if you have any questions, call the clerk's office. We'll be here bright and early in the morning, starting at 5 a.m. So we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow at the polls.
Thank you for that report, Madam Clerk.
And that concludes my report, and 6B is the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, but I do not have anything under my report.
Great.
Thank you.
That moves us on to number 7, public comment, and this is the portion of our meeting that's set aside for those of you sitting out in the audience. And if you would like to have public comment, raise your hand. After you've been acknowledged by our chairperson, approach the podium, state your name, your address, and we ask that you please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We do not have any formal requests, but I do see some hands out in the audience.
Any comments from the audience?
Yes.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to say thank you for Mayor. I'm the one who called your office about the situation about traffic tickets over on Barth. If you can allow me to approach, I have a letter from Ms. McNally.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chair, can we ask our resident to please state his name
Oh,
for the
yes.
record, please?
Yes, please.
My name is Ty Irby. I live at 16545 Jessica Lane in Romulus, right there, Pennsylvania, and Middle Belt, the old Creekside development that hasn't been finished.
Thank you.
Who should I?
Sure.
Can she read it? Can she read it?
Up to the chair.
Yes, go ahead.
This letter is dated March 3rd, 2016. Dear Barth parents, it has come to my attention that Romulus Police are monitoring the speed of vehicles traveling on Barth Road and ticketing violators. The Romulus Police Department routinely monitors travel speeds in the proximity of all school zones. This is not a new practice for Romulus Police Department. The police department has always been responsive to to the school neighbors concerned and will increase their monitoring for speeding vehicles around all Romulus Community School buildings, especially when alerted by residents of an apparent change in driving habits. For the safety of our children, please drive the posted speed limit when traveling in any school zone. The posted speed limit on Barth Road is 25 miles per hour. This enforcement has nothing to do with targeting any programs, activities, or events currently offered at Barth Elementary School. The recent increase in police presence on Barth Road is for the safety of students and residents in the area and is solely to bring awareness to drivers' habits, to reduce travel speeds, and eliminate vehicles from traveling faster than the posted speed limit. We should all commend the Romulus Police Department for their outstanding effort in keeping the safety of our students and our citizens their top priority. And this is signed by Superintendent Margie McAnally.
Thank you.
The reason why I'm here is because I called the mayor's office, and our concerns at parents at Barth is that there's a large fluctuation of police presence. And I volunteered myself to call your office, go to Ms. McNally, and also I have met with Captain, I have met with the chief, and also public safety officers who's in control of that. And what I've been told is that they only, majority of the time, when they get complaints from the residents, that brings them out to that location. Until they can get everything under control, then they will leave and go to another area. But as I went to Miss McNally and says, Miss McNally, my son's been going there ever since pre-K. And he's now in 5th grade, and this is now 6 years. And I never seen, even back 5 years ago, this presence of police monitoring the mileage of where it should be. Now, I asked the chief if he can give me the data on that, even 2 years ago, and he couldn't provide that data for me. But what I'm asking, can we get that data on what it was 2 years ago? And because we feel that there's a new program at the school called the ACE program, and it's allowing kids who qualify by their test scores to come to this program. And now Barth is the only elementary school that has 6th grade. They're the only school, and that's the ACE program. And also 5th grade and 4th graders can be in the 5th grade. So it's an ACE program. So we truly feel that because of the homeowners in that area, because of the influxuate of traffic, of more traffic than what they had before, that something is going on with the neighbors, that they don't want this traffic in their neighborhood. And we feel that they're using the police to be a deterrent for this program. And we've been watching it. We have went to other schools. We have monitored ourselves. We have cell phones that has radar that we can test ourselves, that we don't need radar guns. And we have saw that there's the laws being broken in all the major elementaries and the junior high and high school. Now we are asking if there can be a test at Hell Creek, Wick, as well as the junior high and high school, do the same presence as you do in Barth. And as we was told, they only come out only on complaints from the residents. And I know that when we did our tests, it's happening at Hell Creek, it's happening definitely at Wick, and we just don't understand why we're getting 2 officers at one school.
Mr. Wadsworth, you have a comment?
Let me respond to that. You know, I've been a resident in Barth Road for 36 years, and they've been down there periodically for the last 36 years, at certain times of the year, writing tickets. And I encourage them to write tickets down there. I have no problem whatsoever. I have grandchildren that live on Barth Road. And they do speed down there, sir. They speed there, and I'm sure they speed at Hale Creek, and they speed at Wick, and they speed in front of every school. And I encourage the police department to do a selective enforcement at every place in our town. I mean, this isn't the first time they've ever written tickets on Barth Road. I mean, it's been going on for as long as I've lived there.
Well, let's get the data on what it was 2 years ago and compare it to what it is now since
I guess
since this new program has started.
We had a meeting, and the mayor was at that meeting at Barth about a month ago about the millage vote. And people actually talked there more about the speeding than they did the millage vote that night. And I wasn't one that was talking about the speeding. The residents that came to the meeting brought this up. And, it's unfortunate, but the first time one of those kids get hit or killed down there, we'd be talking about something else at the podium. I mean, I've seen tickets being written there for as long as I've lived there.
Well, my question is here tonight, can we get some
Oh,
data?
I'm sure they
Can we get
supply
some data
with
on that?
data, sure.
Is there a way we can get the data with the police chief?
Mr. Mayor, you had some?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. We can go back and retrieve data on tickets that were written. I can't retrieve data on just monitoring, because we don't have 24-hour monitoring of the speed. We did have a speed trailer that we had on loan. I can tell you this year's budget, we have budgeted in public safety a speed trailer that will actually track all data. So it'll not just shoot and blink, but it'll give us numbers as far as times a day and peaks. And so, because data is important. Those aren't tickets, those are just how the traffic's flowing. So that's in the budget this year. But I'll go back and ask, I can assure, any resident that has nothing to do with programming, I can assure council, we do respond to complaints, and my obligation is to keep all our schools, all our kids safe, as Mr. Wadsworth said. And if we have people saying that there's violations and they're concerned about kids in schools, we're going to be out patrolling, and that's exactly what we do, and we won't back down from that. But we're not targeting any area, any programs. I know of that program. That's a great program.
Yes, it is.
So I'm all for it. So there's no way that my administration would do anything other than support the schools and their initiatives. But
Because the parents and the kids is really, they're getting traumatized with this appearance of having two policemen on one street. And that's amazing. Next question I'd like to bring.
Yes, sir. Is it possible that, is it content about the administration or anything?
Yes.
Maybe you can get
Yes,
together
my next question is that I made a complaint about, some people in my neighborhood walking around, and I called the police department, and the police department told me, oh, it's probably some guys from the group home. But when I found out that night, when I checked about how many group homes, I was told that there's almost about 160 group homes in Romulus. And on my street, in my walking area, I have 8 Tier 3 sex offenders in my neighborhood.
Are you saying that these group homes are sex offenders?
No.
What are you saying?
They live in these group type homes. And I have 8 in my walking distance of my neighborhood. And basically, all 8, and there's more throughout Romulus, but the concentration is north, south. There's none, not one, on the west side of Romulus. And I would like to know, how does that work where they place these?
I can help on that. And then if you have,
And thank you for giving me time.
I used to be on the board of mental health board, and that works. Group home can be placed how many group homes in any neighborhood is allowed. There's no certain number. The state controls that, and we have a authority, mental health authority, and if they're qualified to place the mental ill in these homes, they have the right. It's their right, recipient rights, to live any place in any neighborhood, as many homes as possible. That's a state law. So as far as the city concerned, we have no control over that. That's a state control and authority. Now, if you have any questions, there's a number I can give you. It's 833-2500. That's area code 313. That's the Wayne County Mental Health Authority Board. And they may be able to give you some information on how to deal with the situation.
Mr. Chairman, I would also offer that if this resident wants to sit down, we'll be happy to share with them or work with them on any enforcement issues that have to do with group homes, even though we don't have the jurisdiction over them. And I think the count was more, I thought it was more like 75, and they're actually in all quadrants of our community.
Right.
But, we'd be happy to work on any law enforcement, just like any other resident. So if you want to contact their office, and I don't know if that came up in your prior meetings with the chief, but we can share with you if there are issues that are coming up. I mean, that's how law enforcement works, when we get feedback from residents and they're kind of helping tell us where there are issues, because then that way we can do a better job and be more effective. So
And again, I want to thank you, Mayor, for allowing me to meet with the chief, and we worked out a lot of things, and that's how I got to get with Ms. McNally to put all this together. Thank you.
And thank you for coming. Any other comments from the audience? Yes.
Good evening. Charles Miller, 1439 St. Aloysius. And to kind of chime in on this gentleman, I live on the far west side of the community. And there's one right next door to the house of mine. And there's at least 4 within walking distance of my house. And that's on the far side of the community. So there are group homes in that area too. Now, I specifically call at the saturation within this community as predatory locating, is what I call it. Because what happens, and I don't want to get out on a tangent, but what happens is there's a huge reduction in value of your home. They say I've met with the state on numerous occasions. They say no, it just makes your house less desirable. Okay, that's the way they look at it. I'm here, although this millage thing that Councilwoman Makowski talks about, she's absolutely correct. Romulus does have a lower millage than the average. But what we have, which is offsetting the tax within the community, is the school tax, which puts us in huge out of formula situation, which has driven our taxes up exponentially. And here's the situation. Everybody wants to separate our millage from our school tax. But the real deal is, no matter if I reach in my left pocket or my right pocket to get the money still gets combined to pay my taxes. Now, we live in a city that has nothing. There's no amenities here for us to be stuck with the amount of tax we have in this community. And now, for this mayor or any mayor to raise money for the roads is indicative of the fact only that this is a town you go through, not a town you go to. There's nothing here. Will there ever be anything here? Probably not. We're stuck with the airport. We get nothing from it, not a dime. But what we do get from it is those individuals who can get a reduced rate at the rec center while the citizens of the community are paying a higher rate, which is totally unfair. Personally, I'm not voting for a millage. You can do as you choose. You have that right. But just like the last mayor, I call it empire building, legacy building. Let's build something so I can get reelected. That's what happened last time. We have a rec center, wonderful place. We're stuck with it. It's a white elephant. The general fund has been propping it up. It's never made a dime. And here we are. We're stuck with it. How we pay for it? Well, that will be something that will be the future. But if the city of Romulus had all those things other cities have, and my house value was in the basement, I could see raising the millage to improve the roads. I see no reason to do that. The downtown, once again, is, although we lost 50% of the parking, it's very nice, but between Eureka Road and Wayne Road, on Goddard is over 20 empty buildings, 20 empty businesses. We have an economic developer who doesn't seem to have been too successful in doing anything downtown, although I hear we're going to have a brew pub down there. I can't wait. Thank you.
Ms. Abdul, would you like to add a comment, or?
Under unfinished business.
Okay. Any other? Yes. Ms. Talley's daughter.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Chairman, board members,
Right.
electeds. I just wanted to come first of all and say, I just want to thank you all for all you do. First of all, I just want to say that, and I mean that because, you know, I try to stay involved with the city, and I look around at so many things going on, and it is so much good going on in the city, and it's exciting. It's very exciting. And so I'm speaking today because we do have a very upcoming vote tomorrow. The presidential primary, along with the millage going on for our city. And I just want to say, as a resident, just to encourage people to go out and vote. Go out and vote. A lot of hard work has gone into getting people informed about what we're trying to do with the street solution. I hope people have taken part in the town halls that have answered so many questions, that a lot of information, misinformation that has gone out. And I just pray that people, you know, got hold of those town hall meetings and heard what was really going on. Because if you heard it, you wouldn't have questions about what was trying to be done. So I said all this to say, you know, I can't talk about past administration. All I know is what's going on currently right now in the last 2 years. And I've been saying this for a while, Romulus is on the upswing. Yeah, we may not have all the amenities of other cities and things like that, but we got to start somewhere. I think with the current administration, for the last 2 years, there have been significant inroads. Our parks are open. We have a dog park. We got so many things going on. So I think those are steps in the right direction, are getting Romulus continuing on the upswing. So I'm saying all this to say, you know, people can choose how they want to vote. I'm going to choose to vote yes, because I think it's important. I don't want to see dirt roads come back to our city. We have issues here with the roads, and we need some help getting that done, and we need the group as a unified, as a people in the city to get that done. And so you're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay in taxes, or you're going to pay. I hit a pothole, and it wasn't in Romulus, it was in Taylor. It cost me $300 to get the rim fixed and my tire, and I was salty, you know, and that was just one pop. So what if I hit another pothole? That'd be another $300. So I'm saying you're going to pay one way or the other. Do you want to pay with taxes and get our roads addressed, or do you want to pay out of your pocket and get car repairs done? I mean, it's your choice. Like the gentleman said, your choice. How you vote and what you do. So I'm just saying, just get out there and vote. The information has been presented. A lot of hard work has gone into getting the information out. A lot of revamping. Romulus is not perfect, but I'm going to tell you this. They show are faithful. And I just so appreciate that, because no one's perfect. No entity is perfect. No organization is perfect. And if people expect that perfection, you're going to be disappointed all the time. So I'm just saying to say, get out and vote as a citizen of Romulus. I care about this community. And, you know, I've heard different things about, well, why should I? Well, is it enough that you live in this community that you want to see it go forward and move forward and stride? So we have to start somewhere. So let's start with this. To get our roads fixed, we got a mall coming. We're excited, you know, and it's still in the works, but it's coming. Do we want to have people come in our city for a mall and the roads is jacked up? I mean, seriously? But anyway, that's just my opinion. And I just want to again say thank you all. Thank you all for all that you do. I appreciate it, and I just want to express thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jim. Any other comments? No other comments? We'll close that part out, Madam Chairman. Clerk?
Number 8 is unfinished business.
Yes, just before, I'd like to make a comment on the RAC. The RAC, I belong to the RAC. It's a great place. I talk to a lot of people in the RAC, and one lady and her husband, I get this on a daily basis because I go to the RAC a lot. And they say the RAC really improved, really saved their life. They have something to do, somewhere to go, somewhere to meet people. It's just a place where they can keep up their health. They got programs for everyone. The membership is expanding. It's a great place to work out. My family belong to it. A lot of people, friends, belong to it. It's just a wonderful place to work out. The management is great. Just uplifting in the community. Our recreation department is second to none. Swimming pool, I'm taking swimming now, learning, but I really appreciate the RAC, and it's a success. Mr. Abdo.
Yes, I just want to address some of the issues on the RAC. I think perhaps the analogy that it is a white elephant is incorrect. I have some stats here I just want to share with the public, and you can decide, I guess. First of all, active memberships. We have 4,347 total active memberships, which equates to 10,976 active members from those memberships. Now, to say that Romulus can't afford that, 36.3% of those memberships are bought by Romulus residents. And I think that says a lot. Financially, we are showing a steady income every year. It's becoming financially sound. Yes, it was a rocky start at the beginning, but just looking at some of the other accomplishments that the RAC has done, they've taught over almost 4,000 individual children how to swim in 6,000 learn to swim sessions. I mean, it goes on and on, the list of things here. So I just wanted to bring that up, that the RAC is becoming better every year. The accomplishments over 8 years, we've had 357 students pass the American Red Cross Life Saving Certification class. That's amazing. I know that our kids from the high school, we now have a swim team at the high school. We've never had that before because the interest has grown, and we've had the help from the lady at the RAC to get that going through recreation. They've hosted over 3,000 birthday parties there. Even people that aren't members in the community have come there and had the birthday parties. They've conducted over 8,000 group fitness classes. I mean, people from Romulus are using the RAC, and they're using it on a daily basis. There are many discounts available. Senior citizens have a discount. Romulus residents have a discount. People surrounding Romulus have a discount. There's all sorts of advantages there. So if you haven't come there, I have free passes. If you need to go and want to check it out, I'll be glad to give you a pass and check out the RAC and see what you think.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on it, I did provide, because this came up at last meeting, so I gave some membership data and some revenue report back to council, so you can see this is far from a white elephant. It's one of the nicest recreation facilities in all of Southeast Michigan. We're hosting an event there. I have all the mayors and supervisors from Conference of Western Wayne and Downriver there this Friday for an event that we're hosting. And I hear that often from many communities, from Northville to Huron. When I hear comments about, all I can speak for is this administration. We're not building empires. You know what we're building? Community. And what we're doing, if you look at everything we're doing, from the local neighborhood street solution to recreation and programming, it came from the residents. We went through the visioning. We heard that loud and clear. And people want recreation. They want things for kids to do and seniors to do. These aren't things that were just dreamed up. I mean, some of the programming we offer today with a shoestring budget, as you know, are because of requests from residents. We talked to the residents. We surveyed kids. We asked them what they wanted. The local roads and streets, we heard it loud and clear. No surprise, we're in Michigan. We have challenges. There's not a revenue stream for the neighborhood streets. We had an opportunity to put a solution out there that 2/3 could be paid for by commercial and industrial and 1/3 by residential, and still wouldn't fix all the streets. I heard that from people. I don't want to oversell this. This proposal is going to make a major impact, but we heard that from the residents. It came from the visioning. So we're not here trying to worry about the next election. We're here to do good work for the residents, and I just want you to know that that's where that comes from. I did also want to follow up. There was an issue brought last week from a resident about an address being used at City Hall by an employee, and I wanted to respond, and I gave council a copy of this. There was over a year ago, there was a community center that was being set up, and while they were initiating and getting a post office box, they incorrectly used the address here. What the document that you have shows this address was changed January, I think it's 22nd of 2015. There's a copy of the postal order behind it that shows that. So there was nothing going on wrong with somebody misusing an address. They did it till they got this set up. It's been used since then, and that's the documentation to prove it. So I just always want to make sure when things come up that I'm responding to council and giving you what you need as requested in these public meetings. But you know, we're going to keep doing good work. We have challenges, absolutely. Economic development is one we're working really hard on. We heard from the residents that is a major interest because think about it, that's jobs. And we've done a lot of things. We haven't done nearly enough. The downtown, I don't know how many other communities can say they had a $5 million street and streetscape project to enhance their downtown. Residents said they wanted to do Vining and Wick first, and second was downtown. We're working on both. I don't have 20 new businesses that I can say are opening up downtown. We have a couple. Yeah, one's going to be a family brew operation. Another's going to be a grocery store. We're hoping some others will come along with it. You know, we heard another resident complain about ordinance enforcement and law enforcement. That came up in the visioning. We actually have revamped the way we do our ordinances around the whole city. And we've retooled, restaffed, and we're making an impact. You guys approved and changed the grass cutting and noxious weeds. We made tremendous improvements in that. So we are listening to the residents. We're bringing things back to council. I feel good about what we're doing. Are we perfect? Like the residents said, no, we're not perfect. But we're going to keep doing good work, and we're going to get better and better and try to do a better job for the residents. So I just wanted to get back to you on a few items, and there were some new items today that came up, and we'll follow up and try to get data and make sure that we always respond to you. But you know, we do have good things going on, so I just wanted to comment on a few of those, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I believe we're on number 9, which is new business.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Makowski?
Update from the library. Spring break is coming, March 28th through the 31st, and the library has developed some activities for the youngsters up through high school. Monday is Lego Day. They're going to have watch the Lego movie and then creating Lego creations. And Tuesday is Team Game Day, and they're going to have board games, etc., ages 12 and up. March 30th, Wednesday, is a movie matinee. They're going to watch the Peanuts movie, all ages welcome. And Thursday, the 31st, they've got a drop-in coloring. I don't know if everybody's keeping track of that latest sensation, adult coloring books. Now, they haven't actually said adult, but they said all ages are welcome, but they show that actually even adult coloring is as effective as meditation. So if you want to relax, go to the library. All right, so those activities are all happening the week of March 28th, Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. And of course, also March is Reading Month in America, all month long. So if you catch someone reading a book, take a picture of them, send it to the library, please. They've got a big board there, and they're capturing all the people reading. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
If I can, a week ago, this past weekend, they had the cat and dogs shot day at the animal shelter, and it served as roughly about 125 people that came through. Dr. John will be writing the city a check again for working there, and Robin from Puff and Fluff, I believe she donated a couple $100 to the shelter. She was doing a dog clippings, and the people were impressed with the building, and I was impressed with who was there. Thank you. And we're also working on the bowl-a-thon. There's kind of a catch. It may or may not take place, but I'll have more information next week about it.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Any other comments?
If there's no more new business, number 10 is communication.
Ms. Barton,
Yes, Mr. Kraut?
yeah. If you're celebrating your birthday in March, I'm going to wish you a happy birthday.
Any other communications?
Okay, number 11 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Makowski, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.